So about 10 days ago, I renovated my entire lawn and I overseeded everything. I had some problem areas. I burnt off some weeds here and there. I pulled some weeds. I had some bare spots that needed overseeding. And I also decided to both power rake one side of the lawn and then scarify the other one just to compare the difference. And now it's been about 10 days. So today we're gonna have a look at the results and then we're gonna see if it's ready to be mowed yet. So as you can see, it's coming in pretty nicely. I love the color, it's super dark green. All right, so as for the difference between scarifying and power raking, so I think the line is about here. Over at this side, I power raked everything, and over on this side, I scarified everything. And to be honest, I don't see much of a difference. And over these 10 days, this side took about 2 days more to actually bounce back the existing grass. This side came back 2 days earlier, and that's about the difference I can tell. Other than that, they both look pretty similar. And to be honest, I thought the scarifying side would actually take longer to bounce back. So in terms of difference between scarifying and power raking, I really don't see much of a difference. Both sides look pretty good. Now I need to check if it's ready to be mowed. In my video where I renovated the entire lawn, I said the first time you should mow it is around 8 centimeters, so around 3 inches. And I've gotten something to measure with, so now let's measure the new grass and see how tall it is. Now, this is the area where I had some bent grass, but one viewer actually said that it could be poa triv, and that's actually very true. I actually didn't think about that, so it could have been. But whatever it was, it's gone now. But this area has started to come back pretty nice. So let's measure how tall the grass is. So it's about 6-7 centimeters. And the existing grass, it's almost up to about 8-9. Some areas are up to 10 centimeters. So it's definitely time to give this a mow. The only problem is that you don't want to put a heavy mower on there. So today I'm actually going to use the Gardena, the push reel mower, because it is super important you actually start mowing this as soon as possible. I mean, you don't want to mow it too soon, but I'm keen on mowing it as often as I can now because I want it to thicken up and establish even faster. And the only way to do that is to mow it as often as you can. The only problem is that the last time I used the Gardena, I saw that it's not as sharp as it should be. I had some white stripes all over the place, so it's not cutting the grass blade as cleanly as it should. So some of it is just being ripped off. So first I need to backlap it just to sharpen those edges, and then we can mow. So first let's just get the wheel off, or the cover, so we can actually access the gear. So the wheel is off, and here's the gear. Oh, that was close. I don't know why I always do this on the deck. I always end up losing stuff in between the boards. Since this little piece that goes in here, this is what actually makes it possible for you to actually get a socket around it and actually move the reel. All right, so I've already done a more extensive video on how to backlap. So if you want to know how to do this, then you can just watch that video. The only difference is that in that video, I use a lapping paste that I bought from Amazon. And this one is oil-based, so it's really hard to kind of wash it off. It just gets stuck everywhere. So I actually bought a new lapping paste, and this one is only sold in the UK, I think. I had to buy it from eBay, but it worked fine. It wasn't too expensive. And one of these is about 500 grams. And then you get a coarse lapping paste and a finer one. And the difference is that these are water-based, so these should wash off easier. So I'm gonna start with the more coarse paste, and I think this one is 120 grit. Now it looks really nice. I have a nice new sharp edge. Well, it's not sharp, it should be more square. All right, that's it. Now we just make sure we wash everything off, and hopefully this one washes off better than the oil-based one. That one was impossible to get off. All right, you can easily say that that one came off a lot simpler than the oil-based one. That's actually a huge difference. Just with the water, everything just washed off. But now I actually remembered I first need to do the edges. So let's just quickly just trim the edges first, because when you trim the edges, you're going to shoot in all the grass clippings onto the lawn. And then when you mow over it, you can just pick that up. So remember, just start trimming the edges first. My hands are very dirty now, but who cares? So always start with the edges. Now let's mow the rest. I've set the Gardena on the highest setting, that's 42 millimeters. I don't have any higher setting than that, so that might be a bit too low, but that's what I have. I mean, you should always try to follow the 1/3 rule, not cutting more than 1/3 of the grass blade. That's when the grass is doing best. But I mean, no one's gonna die if you break it. Not even the grass, trust me. It might turn a bit more yellow than you want, but it's not gonna die, so it's not the end of the world to break the 1/3 rule. It's not an absolute rule, so just work with what you got. All right, let's get the lawn mowed. Just a reminder, make sure you actually get all the grass clippings. You don't want to leave all this on the lawn, so make sure you pick that all up. So I gave it a first rough mow. Let's have a look how it looks. It's looking pretty good, but I just gave it a rough mow. I still have a lot of areas I need to go over again, since there was just so much grass. I couldn't just catch it all on one pass. But one interesting thing though, the side where I scarified was a lot easier to mow. This side with the power rake felt a whole lot denser, and I'm assuming that's because this side just thinned out more when we scarified, but appearance wise I don't see any difference. That was just when I mowed, but just looking at it right now I don't see any difference at all. All right, so I'm just gonna give it another mow, just get everything. All right, so after that second mow, I realized I pushed record on the camera, but I hadn't pushed it hard enough, so it didn't record anything. And did you know if you don't press record, the camera doesn't record? Who knew? And it's so sad because that day the lawn looked awesome. And I went around showing everything, talking a bit about the mowing, and none of that was recorded. So here we are, 2 weeks past that, and the weather is getting colder. Fall has really kicked in. I mean, you can see all the pine needles from this tree. I have pine needles everywhere. But then again, I thought I could show you how it looks 3 weeks after the renovation. And today I'm actually gonna use the Gardena grass and leaf collector to just get the pine needles off. And then we can use the mallet to give the lawn a proper mow. I mean, it's still looking awesome. The color is just amazing. That's why I really like fall time, because the color of the lawn is amazing during fall. So let me just clean up the lawn and give it a good mow with the mallet, and then we can have a look afterwards. And this time I'm gonna press record so many times just to make sure that it actually records everything. All right, let's go. All right, so I'm done collecting all the pine needles. And as you can see, there was a lot of pine needles, and you won't catch them all with the Gardena grass and leaf collector, but I mean, that's about 90–95%, and that's good enough for me. And I'm actually not gonna use the mallet for this. I used it a couple of passes, but as you can see, every time I did a turn, since the grass is so wet, it started damaging and ripping up some grass. And it's still pretty new grass. I mean, it's only 3 weeks old. Not all of it, but a lot of it is 3 weeks old. So I'm actually not going to use the mallet. I'm actually just going to use the Gardena push reel mower. I don't want to damage the lawn. All right, so I'm just going to get going with the mowing, and then finally maybe I can show you how everything looks. All right, I'm done mowing it with the Gardena over here, the manual push mower, and it's looking awesome. You can even get some stripes, even though they're not as defined as they would be with the mallet, but still the lawn is looking awesome. I have one area here which has started yellowing a bit, and I'm pretty sure it's because when they have the goal over here playing soccer, this is the area they're running around the most, so it gets beat up a lot. Last time they played was just a couple of hours ago. So we still use the lawn pretty much every day for different stuff, but considering it's looking awesome. I'm not sure the camera can actually pick up the color, but the color is just amazing, that dark green color. And I haven't mowed this side strip yet, but it's looking awesome too. I mean, look at the color. Isn't the color great? As always, this is what puts a smile on my face. I love a lawn after renovation. It looks so awesome. So hopefully I've recorded this time, and now you know how it looks. 10 days after, at least a little bit. I didn't show you that much, but this is 3 weeks after renovation, and it's looking awesome. And I haven't done anything to it other than mow. I've been trying, after those 10 days, I've been trying to mow it every other day or every day when I've had the time, but mow it as often as you can after renovation, just to get it to thicken up and establish faster. and I haven't put any products on here, but it is that time. So in the next video, it's actually time to put some products on here. I'm gonna use a fertilizer, but I'm not gonna use a normal fertilizer. I don't want to push too much growth. It's pretty late in the season, and I don't want to mess up the normal growing cycle for the grass. So I will be using some products, so if you want to see what, then just tune into that video. And if you want to know how I got to this point, getting the lawn renovated, prepping the renovation, you can just check out these videos over here. And thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.